Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to another episode of Thrive. My name is Carly, and you are in for an absolute treat today. Whether you're a long-time listener or whether you're popping your Thrive cherry here with me today, thank you for joining me. It is never lost on me that you choose to put this podcast into your ear holes, and goddamn, I'm so grateful for you. Now, this feels like it's going to be a really powerful episode. Let's kind of see where it wants to go, but I am recording this in this moment on this topic because I got to tell you, I am feeling lit the fuck up today. And I want to invite you to plug into this frequency. I want to remind you all about the energetics in your business and how, yes, strategy lands, but only when your identity is turned all the way fucking on. And I want this to be the activation that you didn't know you needed. And this potent, beautiful reminder about it's not always about doing more. And that you can sometimes do to the point of, what the fuck am I even doing, right? But it's about being differently. And what do we know, right? What do we know? If you're in the world of Carly, we know that it's not just about the energy, and we know that it's not just about the strategy. And where magic happens and where lives change and where, clients start coming in on autopilot is when we learn how to do this beautiful dance between the energetics and the action. And we get to move with them together. But this episode is going to be more about the energetics and who you're being and how you can start to shift who you're being, okay? Because this has been a very big topic in all of my coaching containers over the past few weeks. And it's been a big topic for me personally as well. Because what truly matters is how you move when things may not be going your way or when you may not be getting the results that you desire. When you're not getting the clients signing up like you thought you would or when you hoped you would, right? How you move yourself in those moments is fucking everything. But also, how can we create more moments where things do get to go your way? Where you feel so lit up, so turned on, so dialed in and so tapped into what it is that you're doing and who you're being, that it's not an option for it to go any other way. And the reality through the lens of Carly is that no one buys from a wobbly frequency. Okay, so we're going to talk about how you can shift your frequency to being that human who is already booked out, to being that human who is known for what it is, whatever it is that you want to be known for. And if you're feeling right now like you're not being seen, or if you're feeling right now that kind of frustration where you're doing all the things, okay, and we talk about this a lot. You could be creating all of this content, putting all this content out there. And maybe you're getting some likes. Maybe, some people are double tapping on the little heart, and that might give you a little bit of validation or a little bit of a boost in the short term. But if the clients are not buying, like what the fuck is with that? And how can we change that? And I'm going to give you the easy answer. Let's assume you've got your strategy dialed in, okay, and that you're doing and that you're showing up consistently and that you're taking action. We're going to assume that your strategy is dialed in for now. Where are you not embodied yet? Okay, because we know strategy matters. Strategy matters. We can't just be roaming around in the dark hoping to find where we want to go. We can't just be, that saying, throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that something sticks, okay? We've been there, we've done that. We're not doing that anymore, okay? And if you're listening to this, my hope definitely my hope for you is that you have got your strategy dialed in. And if you haven't, then you might want to look at doing clients, confidence and cash. And I'm only going to talk for a split second about this because that's not what this episode is about. But the cool thing about clients, confidence and cash is what was once a 12-week program, which delivered amazing results to every person who came into that program in one way or another. The cool thing about that now is that it's been changed to a self-paced course, okay? So what you can do with CCC is that you can go on and you can get it for a fraction of the price. I'm talking like 10% of what the full price originally was, okay? So fucking don't walk, run. And you get all of the video modules. You get six modules, which is like, I think it's like 25 videos. And what that's going to do, that's going to give you the strategies and the next best steps you need to understand who your ideal client is, to create and sell out your signature program to double your income and rapidly increase your impact, okay? So I'll put a link for that in the notes. That's for if you haven't got your strategy dialed in yet, or you feel like, you've been kind of doing a lot of different strategies and just kind of playing around, but you really want to dial that in, okay? So that's where we do that. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. We know that strategy matters. Okay, we know that we have to have potent messaging. We know we need to be talking directly to that person. We need to have ways for your people to come in and buy. Okay, you need to have offers. You need to have links. You need to be talking about them. Okay, you need to be crystal clear in how you're talking about them too. Okay, which is your messaging. You need to be creating content that's cutting through the noise. Like, we know all of this. And we need to be getting visible. Okay, so maybe you're doing all of those things already. Maybe you're doing all of those things. You're showing up, you're creating all the content, you're consistent as fuck, and you're at this point now where you're feeling really frustrated. Then my guess is that this is a deeper issue than just what you're doing. This is an issue about who you are being and how you are identifying, who you are identifying as. And these patterns, these programs, these conditions that we put on ourselves and what we can do and what we can have and who we can be and what's possible for us, like, a lot of them are pretty fucking sneaky. They're all living under the surface. It's like the iceberg analogy, right? You only kind of see the tip of the iceberg and you don't see what's underneath unless you actually go looking for it. And so a lot of people are out there going like, oh, if I just work on, showing up more and posting more, then I will get more eyes on me and I will get more clients, okay? And logically speaking, okay, that sounds like a really good plan. But are you showing up as the coach who has to try really hard to get a result? Or are you showing up as the person who posts and creates all this content but is constantly just getting crickets, and you might get a few likes and you might every now and then get a sale and you might, have somebody join your coaching, right? But ultimately, like, for you, when that happens, for you, that's a fucking shock and it's a big deal. You're like, oh my God, I didn't expect this. So what's happening there is if you're showing up in this energy of no one cares, or I hope someone cares. I hope today is the day that I get a sale because I really fucking need it. Then that is what you are broadcasting. Okay, you are broadcasting this energy of uncertainty. And uncertainty repels. Like, if you're not even certain in who you are, in your offers, in how you speak about your offers, in who you're being, in your capacity to facilitate an amazing transformation for somebody, then how the fuck can anybody else be certain? And we don't buy when we are uncertain, because we feel that energy. And someone might not necessarily go onto your, like, let's say they're on your Instagram feed and they're going through your content. They might not necessarily go, she seems really uncertain in herself and what she's posting. Because chances are, like, if you're creating words in carousels, like, you can put any words you want onto paper, but it's the energy that's felt. And a lot of the time it's like we can't put our finger on it, but we just know that there is something off and we're like, I'm not going to buy from that person today. And you don't necessarily know why, or maybe you do know why. You're like, I'm not going to buy from them today because I'm not feeling it. And then you go on to another coach's page and another coach's offer, and you're like, this is fucking it. Like, this is the energy I'm talking about. This is what I've been craving. This is who I know I need to have in my corner and on my team. Because they are showing up as though they fucking believe in themselves. They are showing up as though they are the one. They are showing up as though it's an absolute no-brainer to work with them. Okay? And so the first question that I have for you to go and ask yourself today is, who am I being when I post? And this has been a very big topic particularly in our high caliber container recently, because in high caliber, we're not just working on the strategy, we're working on the energy. And, this is the direction that Carly's world is going in, and it feels really good. And if you've worked with me before, like, you'll know that I used to focus a lot more on the energetic side of things and who we're being rather than the strategy. And then we kind of took a little detour into a bit more strategy. And what we're doing now, and it's filtering out through all of the programs and all of the containers and all of the touch points and ways that you get to work with me, is that we're bringing them back together. We're not bringing them back together because we're bringing them together. Okay. And so chances are, I forgot where I was going with that, but your girl loves a tangent. So who are you being when you post? Oh, that's right. We're talking about the high caliber container. So this has been a very big topic. And one of the practices that we've been doing in that container is to, before you go out and you create a post, before you share a story, before you go and do a live or do a podcast, right? It's really tapping into that energy of, who am I deciding to be? And before I started recording this podcast, this episode today, you better fucking believe that I gave myself a pep talk about who I am, about what's possible for me, about what I believe about myself and what I believe about other people, and that energy is going to ripple through. So who are you being when you post? Who are you being when you create content? Who are you being before you have a sales call or a coaching call with a client? And how are you getting yourself into the energy and into that identity of the person who you actually desire to be? How are you getting into the energy of the person who posts and fucking gets DMs on autopilot? How are you getting into the energy of being the person who does a live and has somebody say, I need your program now, like, how do I join? How are you getting into that energy? Because the longer you stay sitting in the identity of, oh, I'm the person who always gets crickets, no one cares, no one fucking sees me, oh, the algorithm hates me, I have to try really hard and hand over my firstborn child to even just get a $197 sale without a payment plan. The longer you sit in that identity and that energy, that is the reality that you will continue to create. And I know that if you are listening to this, and I know that if we're connected in any way, that you want more and you want different and you want better for yourself. So who the fuck are you being when you take action? And I know it might sound easier said than done. And I get that, because I used to be that person who would create my content from this place of feeling like I had to prove something, right? From this place of feeling like, I had to be someone that I wasn't, right? But from this, like, belief that if I didn't show up in a certain way, then I wasn't going to be enough. And that's been a really interesting pattern to identify, because how we do one thing is how we do everything, right? So once we recognize where these patterns are showing up, we also get to look at other areas of our lives and see where these patterns may have been showing up as well. That's a story for another day. But I used to be creating from this place of trying to prove, of feeling like, oh, fuck, if I say this thing, like, am I going to trigger too many people, and are they going to leave, right? Are they going to not want to buy from me if I say what's truly on my heart? And now I create from this place of absolute pure fucking certainty, from this belief that what I say and what I create moves people, it activates people, because I know that they truly need what I have. Like, my ideal soul client needs what I have. And everything I do, everything I say, everything I create, and the way that I move with that knowing, and I move with that absolute certainty. And this is how we collapse time. Ta-da! All right, we collapse time when you start to embody that version of you who already has the results before you see the results in your 3D reality. This is how I've consciously created anything that I've desired to consciously create. What I will also say is that I know what it is like to be in autopilot mode and to not create what you want to create. To create something that makes you go, oh, fuck. Okay, that's not what I wanted. And that's also a beautiful lesson, because what we get to do then is we get to look at how we were showing up, the energy that we were in, the thoughts that we were thinking, how we were moving, And we get to change that. And we get to embody the version who already has what you want. So the next question that I have for you, or the next kind of, riff for you to consider is, would the 10K month version of you be second guessing every caption? Or whatever, insert whatever dollar amount that you're going for here, right? Would the 10K month version of you hide your prices? Would the 10K month version of you fucking disappear for days on end when they didn't feel like posting? Would the 10K month version of you, I don't know, like be uncertain about her offer, their offer, your offer, right? Or would the 10K month version of you show up with absolute certainty that your words move people, that your words are powerful, that your words are what your ideal soul client needs to hear right now in this moment? Does that version of you show your prices because you know that your soul client doesn't really care about your prices because you are, sorry, there's sirens. You can probably hear them. Not in the best podcast studio today. Would you be hiding your prices? Or would you be showing them and talking about them proudly because you know that your soul client doesn't care about your price because they care about the transformation, and you have the ability to confidently convey exactly how their life is going to change when they work with you. And at the end of the day, that's what they're buying. And like side note, if people are sort of disappearing after you share your prices, or they're ghosting once you share your offer and you're like, oh my God, I've just shared my price. Like they're not feeling the value. They're not feeling that you can actually help them transform. And that could be both a strategic and an energetic thing, or an energetic thing. Okay? So start to understand, how would this version of you who wants the 10K month or the 20, whatever it is that you want, how would they show up? And what is the energy that they would be embodying? So I want to give you I want to give you 3 really powerful actions that you can go and take today, and that you can start to shift the way that you show up, which will do what? Well, that will shift your results. That will start to, like, if you start to embody this at a deeper level, and if you start being the person that you desire to be, and you start embodying that level rather than who you are right now, rather than embodying the identity that you've had up until now, because yes, that's got you to a certain point. But if you want more and you want bigger results and you want different things in your life, then you need to embody a new identity. And if you start doing this now, then your results will change. I have seen enough proof of it in my life. I have seen enough physical proof, but also how can you show up and how can you lead yourself anyway when things aren't going the way that you want? All right. But anyway, let's get into these 3 powerful energetic shifts that you can make, or these actions, these things that you can go and start doing, rituals, if you will. Okay. Number 1, and this is my favorite thing to do. And what I really know to be true from the evidence in my own 3D reality is that when I do this one especially, and I'm starting with my favorite first, when I do this one especially, like, I am unstoppable. Like, everything I touch turns to gold. My energy is radiant. I am magnetic, and I sign more clients than ever. My life is just generally so much better. Okay. And this is where you're going to go on a little self-concept riff. Okay. So what is our self-concept? Our self-concept is what you believe to be true about yourself, other people, and about the world. And ultimately, this is what manifests, okay? Because your reticular activation system will look for evidence to make what you believe the truth. So we need to understand what those beliefs are that we're holding that we don't want to hold anymore, and we need to shift them, okay? And so once you've shifted them, once you've decided what you desire to feel, who you desire to be, how you desire to be experienced, and how you desire to show up, then you go and create this list of affirmations. And it might sound like, I'm magnetic, people love my content, my work changes lives, I'm booked out and I'm fucking bold about it, I'm unapologetically myself, I'm loved, I'm experienced as blah, 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 right? Whatever it is that you want to believe about yourself. And you create this list of affirmations and you read them every day with power. We don't want to just read them like, oh God, I've got to do this. I've got to go and do my self-concept. I am powerful. I am magnetic. I am potent. Everybody loves me. Bullshit. And your subconscious mind will call bullshit as well. Feel it. Let yourself embody it like it's the truth. Because if you decide that it's the truth, then it's the truth. Okay? So who do you desire to be? How do you desire to feel? As I said, the examples I shared before, I'm magnetic. People love my content. When I post, people can't help but message me and ask me about my program. When I launch something, I sell out immediately. My work changes lives. Whatever it is that you want to be true, right? And you can do this for every area of your life. This is not just isolated to your business and how you show up in your business. You can do this for your money mindset. You can do this for love, relationships, your family, for your health, for everything. But you get to decide how you want to experience this 3D reality because it's yours. And you literally get to speak that into existence. Okay, but we always start with a self-concept work because that is how you identify. That is your identity. And your identity is what is going to create your results. What you believe to be true about yourself, about other people, and about the world will manifest in your 3D reality. Okay, so that's the first one. Go and create this juicy list of self-concept affirmations and read them with power. You can also record them. Okay, and I would suggest recording them when you're reading them in power as well, like when you're feeling like lit the fuck up, because that's the energy that you're going to code it with, right? So when you listen to that, you're going to feel that energy as well. So that's the first one. Number 2 is this like quantum journaling prompt that I find to be really powerful as well, right? Where we're writing from the identity of I am already this person. I already identify as the person who makes however much money you want to make every single month. I'm already the person who sells out programs easily. I'm already the person that gets to live this luxurious lifestyle working 3 hours a day or whatever it is that you want, okay? And so the prompt gets to be, and you can insert the desired outcome that you want here, right? But it could be something like, if I already had the clients, the money, the momentum, how would I show up today? What would I say differently? Of course, if you're doing this for another area of your life, like if I already felt healthy and I looked radiant and vibrant, how would I show up today? And what would I do differently? What are the actions I would take? Okay. And you just go and do this like beautiful scripting process where you just get to like drop in and just really sink into how it feels to have all of those things now. And believe me when I say this, and I mean, I believe this to my absolute core, that if you desire it, then you're meant to have it. So this is just allowing you to amplify that desire by stepping into that identity of already having it now. And then the final one, and maybe this one feels challenging for you, and I want you to do this through a business lens. And I want you to show up and I want you to post something today from your absolute power. I want you to share a piece of content that scares the shit out of you because it's too honest, right? Air quotes, too clear, or it's too you, or it's too authentic, right? Go deep into your notes folder and look at all your drafts, all those ones that you've been saving for when you feel like, oh, it's not the right time right now, but it will be one day. Go back in there and post the fucking piece of content. And post it from your power. Post it with certainty. And what I want you to do before you go and post it is I want you to tap into who you desire to be. Okay? So coming back to who am I being when I post? Who are you being? Are you being the person that feels absolutely safe to share their truth because it lands with the right people? Are you being the person that when you share from your truth and your deepest authenticity and your fullest expression, that you attract the people who are meant to be in your world, right? Can you start to identify as that person and start to post as that person? That's your power move for today. And so I want to end this by, I guess, reminding you that you can go out there and you can be loud. But people don't always buy from the loudest. You know, you can go out there and you can be loud and you can create 3 or 4 pieces of content every day, and then you can wonder why it's not happening. And there are people out there who have got potentially hundreds of thousands of followers, and not even potentially, because I know some of these people who have got hundreds of thousands of followers and that post 3 or 4 plus times every day. and they're not making a single dollar in their business. And that's because people don't buy from the loudest necessarily. They buy from the clearest, and they buy from the most embodied. And you don't call in these soul clients by just screaming out and, chucking out all this content into the void. You call them in by deciding who you are. You call them in by backing it as though your life fucking depends on it. So if you want to take this work further, again, I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't share this opportunity with you. If you are truly ready to recalibrate your identity and your messaging, okay, this is again where the energy and the strategy comes together, and you want to make your content and your messaging land with power, that kind of power that makes those soul clients start to lean in and send you those messages like, okay, I've been watching you for a while, something has shifted and I'm ready. I want to work with you. Then jump over on Instagram to Manifestation Mentor Carly and drop me a DM. Let me know that you've listened to the podcast, and I will share the details of the Messaging Mastery Minimind with you and how you can potentially even apply for one of the scholarship positions that are available. There's only 2 left, and we're starting in June. All right. I'm going to wrap it up here. Now, if you loved this episode, I would be so grateful if you would share it with a friend. Share it on your stories. Tag me so that I know that it's resonated with you. Or even just drop me a message on Instagram and let me know what your takeaway was and what that power move or that power post is. Like maybe even send it to me. Send it to me so that I can go out there and I can cheer you on and I can feel your energy as well. Okay, until next time, I fucking love you. You've got this.